My in-laws never said they hated me. They didn't need to. They showed it in small ways. The looks, the comparisons, the way they spoke about better women while sitting across from me at dinner.
Some women just fit better into certain families.
They never thought I noticed, but I did. And I stayed quiet, because I didn't know then that one day my silence would be the reason I walked away with everything that mattered. Stay with me while I share my story, and if it resonates with you, don't forget to support the channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing it with someone who needs to hear it. My name is Rachel Thompson. I grew up in a modest neighborhood in Pennsylvania. Nothing fancy, no family money, just hard-working parents who taught me that consistency mattered more than appearances.
Just stay consistent, Rachel. That's what lasts.
I met Daniel Harris at a charity event through mutual friends. He was calm, polite, and thoughtful. Not flashy, not loud. The kind of man who made you feel safe. He told me he admired how grounded I was. Said I had peaceful energy.
You feel special. Grounded. That's rare to find.
I believed him. We dated for 2 years before getting married. During that time, I noticed his parents,
dear, it's
George
so
and
wonderful
Eleanor
to see you.
Harris,
You
were
too.
always
God bless
polite,
this.
but distant. They smiled, but their eyes didn't soften. Eleanor once said, "You're very simple, Rachel."
You're very simple, Rachel. Too simple for this family.
She meant it as an observation, but it landed like a judgment. George often asked about my job, then followed it with, "So, no plans to move higher?" I laughed it off. I thought love would smooth things out. I was wrong. Our wedding was tasteful and small. Eleanor complained about the guest list. George questioned the venue. I ignored it. Marriage started well. Daniel and I moved into a small house. I worked in administrative support. He was starting a consulting business. Money was tight at first. So, I stepped up. I paid most of the bills, covered groceries, helped with business expenses. I didn't keep score. I believed in us. Daniel thanked me at first.
Thanks for paying the bills again.
It's not a problem. We're a team.
Then it became normal. Then it became invisible. His parents visited often. Eleanor always found something to fix. The curtains were wrong. The food was too plain. The house felt unfinished. She talked endlessly about other women. Successful
I
women,
don't know what you
Elegant
saw
women.
in Rachel.
wives of Daniel's cousins. She's so polished. She knows how to present herself. She really supports her husband. I listened quietly. Daniel started repeating their words without realizing it. Maybe you should dress differently. Maybe you should think about a better role. He said it gently. That somehow hurt more. I kept working harder. I managed the house, handled finances, helped with his business paperwork, stayed up late balancing numbers. And still, I was never enough. Then, Lydia entered the picture. She was a friend of Eleanor's colleague, sophisticated, well-dressed, from money. They adored her instantly. Eleanor invited her to family dinners, sometimes without me. She understands our family, Eleanor said. Daniel started mentioning her casually. She's very sharp. She gives great business advice. I smiled. Inside, I felt myself
She
disappearing.
really carries herself well, doesn't she?
There was one evening I can't forget. Daniel's parents invited us over for dinner. They said it was just family. When we arrived, Lydia was already there, sitting comfortably in Eleanor's favorite chair. Eleanor lit up when she saw her. "Oh, good, you made it," she said to Lydia, touching her arm warmly. Then, she turned to me. "Oh, Rachel, you're here too." Dinner was already set, plates arranged carefully. Lydia was seated beside Daniel. I hesitated, waiting for someone to guide me. Eleanor pointed casually to a chair at the far end of the table. "You can sit there." Throughout the meal, the conversation circled around Lydia. Her work, her opinions, her plans. George laughed at her jokes. Eleanor nodded proudly at everything she said. At one point, Eleanor smiled and said,
It's so refreshing to have someone who truly understands this family.
She looked directly at Lydia when she said it. Daniel didn't correct her. He didn't look at me. He just kept eating. I sat there quietly, hands folded in my lap, listening. No one asked me a single question. That was the moment I understood. It wasn't just his parents. It wasn't just pressure. Everyone had already chosen her, and I was still sitting at the table pretending I belonged. I finished my meal silently. I thanked Eleanor for dinner. I smiled, but inside, something settled. Not anger, not sadness, clarity. That night, I didn't cry. I opened my laptop and began organizing my records. Because when people show you where you stand, the smartest thing you can do is to believe them and move accordingly. Daniel eventually came home one night and said it plainly.
My parents think we're not aligned anymore.
That was his way of saying he agreed. We separated shortly after. Eleanor didn't hide her relief. George avoided eye contact. Lydia appeared more often. They thought I would leave quietly with nothing. They underestimated me. I contacted a lawyer, presented everything, every bill I paid, every investment I supported, every sacrifice documented. For the first time, someone listened.
This is very thorough.
The legal process wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was precise. When Daniel realized what was happening, it was already too late. In court, my work spoke for me. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't attack anyone. The judge ruled fairly. I received my share. The house equity, financial compensation, legal acknowledgement of what I had carried alone. Eleanor was furious. Daniel looked stunned. Lydia disappeared quietly. I moved into a smaller place, peaceful, mine. Without me, Daniel's business struggled. The structure I had built was gone. I didn't celebrate. I just breathed. Months later, Daniel reached out, apologized, said he hadn't realized my value until I was gone.
Please come back.
I
didn't
listened.
realize your value
Then I
until you
said
were
calmly,
I know, but I'm not coming back.
and I walked away. Today, my life is quiet. No comparisons. No judgment. No shrinking. I learned something important. Silence doesn't mean weakness. Patience doesn't mean submission. Sometimes, the strongest response is quiet preparation. If you're listening to this, and you feel invisible, undervalued, or quietly replaced, remember this. You don't need to scream to reclaim your worth. You don't need approval to stand tall. Protect your peace. Document your truth. Move deliberately. And when the time comes, walk forward without noise. Because the most powerful victories are the ones you don't announce. They speak for themselves.